Hey, Mark here. I just have a fun announcement for you. So, we recently started doing these Final Fight episodes, and we've been putting them up with the movies, the regular movie, films, and flicks episodes. However, the Final Fight episodes people really loved. So, we figured that we would start a brand new podcast just called Final Fights, brought to you by Movies, Films, and Flicks, where it's nothing but final fights in movies, where we discuss every punch, bite, kick, gut punch, everything you can think about. We do a lot of research, and they're short episodes. They're probably about 20 to 30 minutes. They're really quick to listen to, and they just talk about all your favorite final fights. So head to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and rate, review, and subscribe, and listen to Final Fights. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you. Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who currently wishes that he bought an Uzi instead of a Mac 10. It's David Cross.
I didn't know it was a Mac 10. I thought it was an Uzi, and that was the joke that it was the same thing.
Oh, man, I gotta tell you, so you recommended this movie for me, and when you watch as many movies as we do, we've very rarely come across just really nice surprises. And this movie was such a nice surprise. I don't know, I love this movie, man, Night of the Comet. I was reading some reviews for it, and some people are calling it so bad it's good. And I'm kind of thinking, no, this is fun. This is a good movie. I really enjoyed this film. Like it has personality. I think it captures tone right off the bat. I mean, you just know immediately what this movie is. And then it just is full of surprises. And so you recommended this movie to me. How come you did that?
That's a great question, Mark.
Yeah.
Just so I forget, I like to call this movie so good it's good.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand this. Do you think it's just easy to call it so bad it's good? This is a good movie.
Yeah. I don't think people quite get so bad it's good. So bad it's good is being inept that it's good. It's so bad that it's entertaining.
Wow.
And this is just a good film. Examples of so bad it's good is Birdemic, Shock and Awe, Faithful Findings, The Room. Those are so bad they're good. It's a different genre from even than purposely bad movies like Velocipaster.
Yeah, this movie, dude. I did some inflation. This had a $1.4 million budget, which that's not much. I mean, that's a tiny. Well, no, it's more. I guess it's around $2 million, but a $2 million budget, and they shot in L.A. And it ended up making $43 million at the domestic box office. This is a
That's
movie
crazy.
that it's scrappy. And doing some research, you know what's funny? So I was watching this movie, and I'm like, man, there's a show on Netflix. It's like a post-apocalyptic show with sassy teenagers, and I'm just thinking this ripped off Night of the Comet. And then I learned that Joss Whedon got the inspiration for Buffy the Vampire Slayer from this film.
Oh, yeah.
But then I started thinking about, more like the movie, but then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, wow, that is spot on. I mean, when I think about Buffy now, Christy Swanson's role, that's this movie. I don't know. I don't know.
They took the best part of this movie and just gave her own, her own part.
Oh, so you like Samantha the most in this movie?
I do. I love Samantha. But I wanted to get to your question before I forget it.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
About why I recommended this movie. So first off, until last year, I had never seen this film. And I was feeling sort of nostalgic, wanting to watch this movie that I half remembered from a kid. And I ended up settling on Night of the Comet, thinking that it was Night of the Creeps.
Wow.
Yeah. So I watched it and I was like, I've never seen this film before. Why have I never seen this film before? And I loved it. And I think I immediately sent you a Facebook message and was like, have you seen this movie?
And I had never heard of it. But when you explained it to me and then I looked it up a little bit, I'm like, I got to do this. I need to talk. And so what was your first thought when you watched this film for the first time? What did you think?
So I absolutely loved it. I particularly like how 80s it is in the tone and the visuals. It's really striking to see an empty city with this sort of red dust everywhere.
Yeah, or just smashed up bricks.
Yeah, that's right, smashed up bricks. So my original thought was, I absolutely love this. I can't believe I had never seen this before. And to be frank, I haven't gone back and watched Night of the Creeps. I've just watched this movie like 2 more times.
And it's currently streaming for free on Tubi, and the Shout Factory Blu-ray is absolutely stacked with stuff.
Yeah.
And I was really kind of happy to learn about how much of an audience this movie has grown. And when this movie was filming, and like I guess it's shot in '83. You could put this on Christmas movie list, by the way, because it kind of takes place during Christmas.
Oh, but, no, it definitely does take place on Christmas. Like the last shot is basically Christmas Day.
Oh, it makes me so
or
happy.
Easter, I can't tell, but it's definitely Christmas season.
And but like the producers also worked on Valley Girl, which we also covered on the podcast, and it's currently finally streaming, so you can rent it, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you've ever watched Valley Girl, but I love that movie, directed by Martha Coolidge, and the same producers went on to make this. And the director, Thom Eberhardt, kept saying that they were waiting for him to screw up. They wanted him to get fired. They had another producer that was saying that this movie is just like this movie. So Mary Warnov, one of the producers, she's like, it is not a cult movie at all. It is a fad movie. She went on to explain that the film will date very quickly because it's about Valley girls shopping at the mall and the bomb. It's not ahead of its time and it's not behind its time. It's just a combination of elements. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Now, Valley Girl, like Martha Coolidge, I don't. All right, so in the beginning of Valley Girl, she had the girl speaking Valley speak in the first scene, and then she deliberately went away from that. In this movie, there is a little Valley speak, but these two characters, man, are badass, Regina and Samantha. Like when Regina gets attacked by that zombie in the beginning, the zombie's like, come here. She's like, come here, my ass. Then she kicks its ass, jumps on a motorcycle, and drives home. Then her and Samantha get into a fight with some ghouls in a mall. Samantha gets the high ground and just throwing TVs, and they're throwing shoes and Uzis and having gunfights, and like they're beating people up and kneeing people in the head. And, like, I don't get how this was like a Valley Girl movie. These characters were not. You didn't see. Nowadays it's more familiar, but in the '80s, man, you didn't see. Like I don't know. I showed my wife. I'm mumbling, but I don't care. I showed my wife the scene where Regina beats up the zombie in the beginning, and she loved it because it's not the way scenes would go. So I don't think this movie was an in-the-moment movie. I think it featured good characters and got made from a very specific, he sold it on the strength of Valley Girls, but they made it their own.
Yeah, I mean, Samantha's the closest thing to a Valley Girl in this movie, and she comes off as more as just a young teenager who happens to speak in a little bit of Valley Girl. But that could be, that could still exist today. It's just sort of a preppy, poppy person.
Mm-hmm. And just this movie, man, it made me so happy because you're just so full of surprises. And I like the character of Hector. He had this really weird story about he picked up this hitchhiker and he's like driving around with her. And I'm like, what is happening?
Can we talk about that for a second? Because there's two parallel things happening in this film. So Regina at the very beginning makes it, her words, with the projectionist. And they're not dating. They're just sleeping together.
For $15.
And then, she'd be worth more than $15 according to him. But then Hector has a story about having a one-night stand with some woman he picked up for his truck. Are they trying to comment on something with those two characters having those two similar circumstances? I
mean, they must, right?
They have to be, yeah.
They're just it's a really interesting parallel, I guess.
Yeah.
So Regina stayed with the other guy because he gave she didn't stay because of $15, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it sounds like she's just a sexually liberated badass, and this film doesn't care what you think about your Protestant mores. She's like, I like having sex. This guy's, I guess, okay. I think he's annoying, but she must like him, and she's gonna do what she's gonna do. She's
a gangster. I love it.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And I love when she's like, I don't love the scene, but when she's being interviewed, she's like, I had mono once. And then they're like, have you ever been pregnant? She's like, no. And he's like, oh, that's no big deal. She's like, yeah, it was the worst 3 weeks of my life. Like, it was, I don't know, man. Like this, so you read all this stuff about the film and, they wanted it, like the producers didn't really like it because they were hot off the kind of intellectual, like very highbrow Valley Girl, which I still think is an excellent movie. I don't know, man. It's weird that he had to do that much fighting on set.
Yeah.
And I kind of, go for it.
So what I read in this film regarding to him like fighting is that they didn't know what tone to take with this movie, that should it be horror or should it be comedy, and that they were filming scenes back to back, like one in a horror way and one in a comedy way. And then they were going to decide later on what it was going to be.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, that's smart. I mean, they must have shot this quick. I mean, this movie, dude. It
was like 18 days, I think.
Yeah. And he had to use every film trick film school cheap trick he knew. I love that they shot in downtown LA on Christmas morning when no cars are around. And even though there are some shots where you see window cleaners or people on the street, it's still a successful job. I mean, they create, and you know what I love about him? And this is what, like, if I was ever a low budget producer, what I love what Thom Eberhardt said was, we got 2 wide shots of emptiness. That's all we need for audiences to believe it. And I bought the empty streets. I thought they did a great job. And they could only afford 2 cops that could roam and keep the streets. Like, it makes me happy, man, because I've worked on some really small budget films, and that have been, maybe a little bit have a higher budget, but they haven't been nearly as creative with their money. So I kind of dug the choices, and this didn't feel like a $700,000 movie to me. I think they were able to get creative and make it look like a $3.2 million movie.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's why everyone turned to dust, because you're like, dust is cheap and people aren't. You just have dust everywhere.
Give me some bricks. I will break these bricks and I will throw them on the ground, and I will make that work. But like even the outfits, so Samantha's brighter colored, Regina has more of a neutral tones. She does wear the dress at the end, but overall Samantha has much more of a brightly colored outfit. So they made smart decisions. And even the scientists, the really random scientists who didn't block off their air vents, they just had the same outfits. So they did a good job kind of working in this. And these scientists, man, what do you think about them?
They're the worst.
Yeah,
they're absolutely the worst.
They're evil. They're killing children, right? Those 2 women are killing children. They're kind of joking about it. They're just, right, we can only get this much blood from them. Whatever, kids are cute. Yeah, what is happening?
So what I want to do with this is run through our top 5 favorite moments. I think that would be would help us talk about it.
All right.
Do you have a list of 5, or do you need a second to pull it together?
I mean, I got them in my head, and I can always change them up, but I kind of know what my favorite moments are.
Okay.
There's just little moments that made me really happy.
Yeah, same. I had a couple that I was just like, oh, this is great.
I'll let you go, and then I'll kind of...
So I'm going to go with number 5. My number 5 moment is when Samantha rolls over the couch to talk to Doris. It's so exaggerated, and it's pitch perfect for the character. She's like, I can't believe I got to do this, and just throws herself over the couch in the most dramatic way possible.
Yeah. And how tough is Doris, by the way?
How tough is she? She's
a badass.
Yeah.
I mean, she cold clocks her.
Yeah, is that supposed to be played as a comedy? I can't tell.
I mean, she does a big time role. And how about Chuck, man? Jeez Louise, Chuck. She's like,
Chuck's dust, man.
She's like, well, didn't she say you were born with like an asshole? You don't need Chuck.
She says you were born with an asshole, Doris. You don't need Chuck, or you don't need a second one.
I think man, and then I just love the slap. I was so surprised with the slaps, and then Samantha just gets decked. So they have tough home lives, these kids. Yeah, you're right. That's a good scene, man. Just the couch roll. That's cool. What's your number 4?
My number 4? Okay, so I love when Regina is driving around the city on the motorcycle, just experiencing an empty city. And I particularly love it because the music in the background is like adventure jaunty. And in this moment, that's supposed to be a horror movie. So it kind of clues the audience in that, yeah, this is scary, but they're going to have a really good time.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's just, the Mercedes that she comes upon, they say that 28 days later, because there's a scene where Cillian Murphy comes up on empty streets with the Mercedes just sitting there. Some people say that's an like an homage to Night of the Comet.
Oh, I didn't know that. That would make sense. And that's also one of the... Go ahead.
I didn't find any data to back it up, but it's a pretty big coincidence. So, I don't know. I like to think that it's a homage, I would say.
My number 3 moment is Samantha being disappointed that Hector doesn't work for the radio station. And this is a blink and you miss it scene. Like literally it's probably 1 or 2 seconds, but she asked him like, do you work here? And he goes, no, I drive a truck. And she just see her head tilt like, aw. It's a perfect way to set that character up.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a trucker. Oh, dang. I'm telling you, there's so many little moments in this movie. I love it.
So my number two moment, and I think this is going to be a lot of people's number one, but my number two moment is when they are shooting up the car.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good, especially Samantha with the gun, just like in her uniform. That's the moment when I knew, I was like, this is definitely a Buffy, where Joss Whedon got Buffy from. And I didn't know that until later on, until after I watched the movie and started doing research. So, but in my head, when I watched the film the first time, I thought that. So it makes sense.
And I love Regina's body language. She just has her palm against her ear, but she doesn't have two earplugs, but she knows enough just to block one, and she's very casual about it. Like, that's character right there. I really like the way they shot it and did that. You buy the whole moment.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've read that they ad-libbed that scene when the gun got jammed.
Isn't that the best? That's so cool.
That is the best. It's so good. Because from when I read, and I believe I actually watched a couple interviews, there's a lot of stuff out there, but all the interviews pretty much ask the same, like, 6 questions.
Yeah.
So in some sense, it's a lot, but there's not a lot. It's kind of strange. One of them said, we were told that if we flub something or if something goes wrong, just respond as if you're in character because there's not enough film to screw around. And that's when that happened.
That's amazing. I mean, it's expensive film. They didn't have time, especially on empty streets. Oh, that means these were some legit actresses too. I dig it.
Yeah. And my number one is overall the entire mall scene. I love it.
Oh yeah.
But the specific moment of when Regina acts like the mannequin.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
It's so funny.
That was the best when because you see her standing by a mannequin earlier, and then oh man, I love that scene. The way that the two of them just kind of dancing around the mall, that didn't feel. I've seen montages before that just make me want to puke. But then montage, like, there's no like I'm so sexy, like, for my quote, like weird montages. They looked like they're actually having fun, and the way they shot it, like, I really bought into the kind of, she's giving her advice about scarves or a jacket, and then like dancing around, and I don't know, man, I dug it. I didn't see it as vapid either. I just saw her trying to cheer up her sister, so they went and had some fun.
They're just trying to pass the time to wait and get cheered up. So do you have a top 5?
Oh yeah, okay. So let's see. Number 5 is when Samantha says, I need the high ground. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you know that I'm very big on high ground. And so I really love that she just immediately went up and got the high ground. That really made me happy.
Samantha Obi-Wan?
Yeah, I love And then 2, I've already said it, but I love when the zombie's like, come here. And she's like, come here, my ass. And does that. And then I love the really punk guy in the mall. I love the stock boys became the owners. And I'm going to give us our PG-13 rating here. But I love it when the guy's like, I'm not crazy. I just don't give a fuck. Like,
that's really good.
Like, that's a good line. And I actually like that villain. He had a lot of personality to him with the Russian roulette and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, he won, right? Like, he's a super competent villain. The scientists are the only thing that saved the girls.
Yeah, you're right. He did win. They won. And that's cool. All right, so I have 2 left. And I can do that. Oh, so I think the way they set up Regina in the beginning with the video game, I just thought it was really cool that she's like this badass at video games, but there's someone who broke her record and she's really frustrated about it. She doesn't know who DMK is. Oh, that comes back, which I love. I worked in a theater, and I love when she's like, I don't want to go walk the theater. They'll throw milk duds at me. I hate it.
That's one of the questions that's constantly asked in the interviews I read. They're like, did you actually play this video game? She's like, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. But I like the lighting that they did. Like, you could tell that Thom, the director. So Megan and I have this thing where I feel like I can always tell when a director really likes an actor or actress's face. Like, you can tell when, like in Frances Ha, I was watching it, and Noah Baumbach worked on that, and I was watching, I'm like, man, Noah Baumbach like really loves Greta Gerwig's. Like, I'm not saying this like in a weird way. You can just tell the way they frame and light and shoot. I'm like, man, he like really likes Greta Gerwig. And then they got together later on. So, like, that's happened a few times. And it didn't happen with this movie. And I'm like, man, he really likes, what's her name? Catherine Mary Stewart's, like, face. Like, the way they lit it and shot it. You could just tell that he was a big fan. I don't know. But I like that. It just kind of set up a cool character. And then, let's see.
But before we jump, I just want to point out something that I thought was really funny. And I know that it's a plot hole. So when Reggie finds out that someone was number 5. Was it 5 or 6? I can't remember. It was 5 or 6 on the arcade and was beating her score. She played it until she she became number 5 again.
Yep.
But then what happened to that score? Right? Like, it just disappeared because she was 1 through 6. And in a normal arcade game, like, if you get 5, the person who's 5 gets jumped to number 6. So, like, did she play all morning until she became the top 10 all herself? Or did they just screw it and just had her put her name in?
Oh, wow. I think DMK was 1 and she had to beat them all. She had to get them out of there. She seems that competitive.
Yeah, let's go with that. She played until she was the top 10 of everything again.
Oh, I love that. Because
that's a good like character trait.
That really seems like she would do that too. And then I guess, all right, so a lot of this happens in the mall, but another scene that made me really happy in the mall was when one of the goons comes up and he corners Samantha, and Samantha's like, "Oh, hi," but then she just knees him in the balls and then knees him in the head and runs away. And it's like, I loved all these scenes because you just didn't see it coming. Like, these kids are just so capable. And I dug that. Like, I just kept smiling at how they kept overcoming the odds. And then I also like the end when the two, Hector and Regina, become the parents.
It's so weird.
Isn't it?
It's really
so
weird.
And then DMK shows up and drives away with Samantha. But I'm like, how did this happen so quickly? But I mean, I guess I see it. They're trying to play, they're young kids trying to play parents.
Yeah.
But.
So I have one honorable mention. I wanted to ask you about this. At the very beginning, Regina goes, let me make sure I get this quote right because I wrote it down. So anyway, the theater owner's like, get out there and walk theater. And she's like, but it hurts. They throw milk duds and dots at me. It hurts. So I wanted to ask you, Mark, did you ever get stuff thrown at you when you were at the theater?
So the only time, whenever I walked the theater, no one ever threw anything at me. I did get stuff thrown at me when I worked in a theater. This was before, I was working in a theater before stadium seating, before Netflix. And, I was working the weekend when, Phantom Menace and I was there the weekend, my best friend's wedding and Blair Witch Project. Those two movies made over $250 million. And you couldn't walk in my lobby. Every theater was sold out. But the problem is there was no assigned seating, so I would have to go into every theater and tell everybody that, hey guys, if you're sitting in a theater, please move over, don't leave empty seats. If everyone can move towards the center and just allow room for more people to sit in, please, that'd be great. Well, I had to do that for Nutty Professor too. Everyone, I swear to you, was just sitting every other seat. So I just walked in, I started asking people, and no one listened. And then I refused to move. And then I was like, you guys need to move. And I kind of kept it going. And then people started throwing stuff. Like I was catching it and like just not moving. Like I was just snagging stuff out of the air, like Twizzlers and all this kind of stuff. And I just stood there and just stared at the people. And I was like, come on. And then everyone did it. And everyone moved in. And then everyone started clapping when I left. But yeah, so I fought through the throwing. And then I won the crowd over by just not quitting.
So I think you would survive the apocalypse then, right? That's how this goes?
I think so. I mean, if I was hanging out with Regina and Samantha, for sure.
So something else I wanted to chat about is Robert Beltran, who plays Hector. I know him from only one thing other than this. Can you guess what that is?
Did you watch that Killing Raoul?
No. I found out that's a big movie he's in, but I've never seen it.
Really good reviews. Like it's a dark, dark comedy. I was reading stuff. And that Mary Warnow was in it. And she's also in Chopping Mall. But yeah, so what movie?
It's not a movie. It's Star Trek Voyager.
Oh.
He plays Commander Chakotay.
Was he a big part?
He was the commanding officer. He's a main cast member.
Wow, that makes me happy. Because I liked him a lot in this movie.
Yeah, because I'd never seen him in basically anything else. And then when he popped up, I was like, oh, it's a young Commander Chakotay. Nice. You know what? I guess you read this too, but a lot of the behind the scenes stories, he didn't want to play the regular stuff. Back in the day in the 80s, they probably just cast very stereotypical roles, and he didn't want to play that kind of stereotypical role. And Thom Eberhardt's like, that's fine. So then Robert Beltran just played a dude, and he's very happy about that. Like it's kind of sad, but he was just very happy that he got to play a regular human being. Yeah, which I love. So you mentioned something that I really want to talk on, and that's Kelli Maroney, and she plays Samantha. And from everything I understand, I would classify her as a scream queen.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, and she got a big role in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where she played a cheerleader. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit something, Mark. I've never seen that movie.
Oh, dude, it's I guess I'll let you know that it's not a stock comedy. Like there's some weighty issues in it. It's a good flick, man. It's worth watching.
Yeah, it's one of my giant holes. But she's also in a movie you just mentioned, and that's Chopping Mall.
Oh, brother.
I don't know how you feel about this, and I imagine that you maybe don't like it that much, but I absolutely love that movie. I love it more than I could dare to describe because it's so over the top.
Yeah, I mean, you're watching it, and just in the beginning, just the couple, they're just being cheeky about the three things that are made, and then you have a weird like a store orgy with the couples, but it's so
the Mattress Mart.
Everything is just so over the top with it. It's just I think it's winking at the camera the entire time. So if you took it seriously, you're like, this is trash cinema. But if you're like, these are three stupid droids attacking idiots who are engaging, who are behaving like typical movie dum-dums, I think you like it. Like I guess I got that it was so over the top and tongue in cheek that I enjoyed it. It's also, that movie's free on Tubi too. So I watched that as well.
I think there's another movie too that she's in on Tubi called The Zero Boys. That's supposed to be another one of her like big cult movies. I haven't seen it either, so I can't talk about it. But it's on my list to watch in like the next week or so. So I could let you know. I'll send a post out and you can talk about it on the next podcast.
Yeah, I mean, she's cool, man. These two are really good, and they're still good friends today. Regina and Samantha. They're good buds, and you could tell the chemistry was real in this flick.
Yeah. I mean, I knew who they were, sort of. Like, I looked at them, I was like, these actresses look familiar. And then I looked up Catherine Mary Stewart, and I was like, oh, you were in The Apple and The Last Starfighter and Weekend at Bernie's. Like, I get it. And then she was in Night Flyers.
Yep.
But then, like, I know nothing else. Like, those are the only movies I've ever seen with her in them.
Oh, wait, can we go back to Chopping Mall?
Yes.
That restaurant that Kelli Maroney worked in is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's
They have food called belly busters. It's just weird. And then that one guy's eating everything, and then the one waitress says that he gets really handsy, and then that one guy's just wiping all the gross stuff on his shirt.
So I've been to a restaurant that has a real restaurant that has a belly buster in Columbus, Ohio. It's a breakfast. It's like a breakfast burrito covered in gravy and cheese, and it's really not that big. It's a belly buster, but it's like you could probably eat one and a half.
Oh, that's not fair then. I guess
I know, that's what everyone says.
I would only like a belly buster if it busted the belly. Yeah. Man, I'd be disappointed if I ordered a belly buster and I wasn't busted. So while I get over my disappointment from not being belly busted, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more Night of the Comet. How's that sound?
Awesome.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And word on the street, man. Word on the dust-covered street is that you have some zany things for me. I want to hear these.
Yeah. So first up, I want to talk about zombies and whether or not this movie actually has zombies in it.
Oh.
So I feel like it's confusing, frankly, before we get into it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the original title was Teenage Comet Zombies?
Yes, I think so.
I don't think these things are dead. I think they're slowly degrading. These are people who were inside, maybe, or in a area that was
partially covered.
Yeah, and then this hit them, and they're degrading. But the degradation somehow makes them very monstrous. They kind of lose their base. I think everything's degrading, and they just want to revert to like eating flesh. Is what I'm thinking. I don't think they're dead. So then but I mean, I call the people from 28 Days Later zombies, in air quotes.
Exactly.
But, I mean, so yes. Well, like, okay. If someone argue with me they're not dead, I get it. But if you're just going to put them in a book of, like, what are zombies, I would say these are zombies.
Yeah. I think they're ultimately zombies. And in my head canon, I made up the decision to think that these partially zombified monster mutant people were so thirsty that they were trying to eat people to get the moisture out of them.
Well, yeah, because they said they're inside calcium dust.
Yeah, and I could be wrong, but that's how I made it work in my head.
Oh, I like it. They're trying to kind of do anything they can to get moisture back in them.
I have another question along these lines. There are hundreds of articles, hundreds of hot takes about this, but what do you think is the scariest type of zombie?
When you think about movies like Night of the Living Dead and the original Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, George Romero is so effective with creating a atmosphere that the zombies become so scary. You create this very I think the zombies in Dawn of the Dead are so scary because there's so many of them, And then at the end, when you learn to love the characters and the biker gang comes in, they're more of a threat to the main characters because you like them so much, so they're scary. And then I think of the World War Z zombies that are just basically like locusts. But I got to give it to probably... Okay, so I think the 28 Days Later zombies you could shoot in the heart and kill because they're just rage-infested people. And they shoot blood out their mouths, which is terrifying. But I think the Dawn of the Dead remake, you can only kill them, you can only shoot them in the head, and they are just fast, and they are just mean, and they can climb and knock through doors. So for me, I'd got to go Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah, zombies. I think that's a good one. So the way that I think about zombies is like a two-class system. There are fast zombies, slow zombies, zombies from science, zombies from mysticism, magic. And so I think that zombies that are fast and from the mysticism realm are the scariest, which I believe are the same thing as what you just described.
Like, not like the original ones from White Zombie. I've showed my students clips, and they're just very, like, slow, kind of, like voodoo-esque brought up. So so I don't know. I think the scariest aspect out of all of them is the puke.
You mean spitting blood?
Yeah, spitting
that's
blood
terrifying.
from 28 Days Later. I mean, that is... If I had... I would rather live in the Dawn of the... Well, man, this is really tough. Man, what would you rather live in? This is the Dawn of the Dead remake world or 28 Days Later world?
I think I would rather live in the virus world of 28 Days Later.
Because those things die off if they don't eat.
Exactly. Eventually they will die. Yeah. But the zombies don't. They're just constantly there always.
And they seem a little smarter in 28 Days Later.
They do, yeah.
And just very super aggressive. Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? I'd have to do 28 Days Later because, it's a nightmare, but you would just have to... What do you think about 28 Weeks Later? Would you like that movie?
Well, I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I have seen it. But if you asked me if I just immediately got the transfer to 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later, I would do that because guess what? I wouldn't have to deal with the beginning of the apocalypse.
Yeah, you're right. You'll just be there.
Yeah. I survived. Never mind my bum knee.
Oh, man. That running scene in 28 Weeks Later in the beginning where Carlisle is being flanked on all sides by zombies and then he jumps into the boat. That's one of the most just exhilarating and stressful moments I can think of. Also, 28 Weeks Later is really mean. A lot of people get killed off. So I don't know. I wrote about that for Cracked. Rose Byrne's character gets a really unceremonious whacking, and it makes me sad. But yeah, I jumped off topic.
Yeah, but no, it's okay. That was still zombie related. So I have another question for you, and this has to do with more of the movie. So from what I understand, the director, when he was writing the script, he went around and asked teens what they would do in the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how he ended up with scenes like them hanging out in the mall and just screwing around. So my question to you is, like, what would teens do today if the apocalypse came and everyone turned to dust? Like, there's no malls to go to. Like, what would they do now?
That's a really great question. Okay. Wow. What would teens...
I have an answer if you want to think about it for a second.
Off the top of my head, I think a lot of them would more just shelter. Like there's really no major places to go. So I think they would just stay inside. Like they may be more conscious nowadays.
I mean, my immediate thought is they would all get on Twitch or still get on social media because just because people disappeared doesn't mean the power doesn't work and would probably work for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And so they would be able to quickly realize that, we're the only ones left. So they would then try to figure out how to meet up.
Oh, okay. So you're not saying the initial outbreak. So after the outbreak.
No, this would be the initial outbreak. Like, I know that if I woke up the next day and there was no one left in the planet, I would still know that my cell phone would still work. Just because there's no people doesn't mean the technology doesn't work, at least for a little bit.
And yeah, you're right. So you could go on Twitter.
Yeah, you just start going like, could you imagine
Twitch.
Apocalypse Twitter? Oh my God.
Wow. I mean, that's a good idea. So I want to tell you one thing. My buddy he stuck something in my head and I don't know where he heard it from, but he said one of the scariest things in the world is, let's say you've been living on your own for 6 months. You have a fortified penthouse. You can block out, you haven't seen anybody in months, but one night someone knocks on your door. Wouldn't that not be the scariest thing you could ever imagine?
Yeah, that's terrifying. I don't even know if you let them in or not. Would you let them in and like search them? I don't know.
I guess if power's still on, I'd have a camera set up. But I doubt power would still be on.
Yeah.
Man, I just got goosebumps thinking about that. I'd go find Regina.
I'm just trying to think of where people would go, teens would go now to congregate. Like, there's no one location. You would be like, I guess I'm going to go hang around at the corner.
Yeah. There's no more like malls where kids hung out. There's no more do kids go to the Y and play basketball anymore? Like,
I'm sure they do, but
yeah.
It's not the same. I kind of feel bad for kids who never got to experience the mall. And you know what? You and I, like, definitely, even though we were young, didn't experience the full-on mallification. We probably got the tail end of it.
Yeah, because that was the 80s, just the mall explosion. And even late 70s, I would say.
Like, we would go and hang out at the arcade at the mall and, like, eat some pizza and just, like, wander around for a while and go home.
Oh, man, I miss those mall arcades playing, like Final Fight and all those games.
Oh, yeah. They were great.
Soul Calibur. You got me reminiscing about being young now. I'm just sort of thinking about this world. All right, I have a question. So after watching Dawn of the Dead, every time I walk around a store, I would just think, how do I fortify this? Where would I climb immediately? How would I block the doors? Where's the food? Do you ever think that when you go inside a mall or inside big stores?
I do. I think about where's the exit all the time.
Yep.
Like, how do I get out of here? How would I hide? What can I use? I generally, this is going to sound funny because I live in New York City and it's a ton of people, but I generally don't do well with big crowds and crowded places. So I try to avoid just being around a bunch of people because it makes me anxious and I sometimes will have panic attacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like I'm always just like, all right, how would I get out of here? And I know that is insane to say that in New York City, but you know, it is what it is.
Are you like Dante from Clerks, where he hates crowds, but he loves gatherings?
I don't know. I haven't seen Clerks in a very long time. But maybe.
One random thing before I forget. What did you think about the two dream sequence in this movie? I just kind of like that she was drinking beer and driving, and then she used some Banaka before the zombie cops come up. I don't know what you thought about that scene.
I almost did a spit take.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense narratively, but it's such a good scene, like meta scene for the audience. Because it's like, you know right away that this is a fake scene. And then she wakes up and you're like, I knew that. And then she wakes up again and you're like, oh, shit, you got me.
Double dream.
Double dream.
And you know what I was thinking? I mean, it's probably one of the more gratuitous moments in the film. But the producers when they made Valley Girl, I don't know if you know this, or probably, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but in Valley Girl, the producers made Martha Coolidge show 3 pairs of like breasts. So she was contracted to show 3 scenes of nudity. So she showed the least amount that she possibly could in those scenes to get the producers happy. So I wonder if this was kind of mandated by the producers to show a little
titillation.
Yeah, exactly. And so that when I saw it, then I learned about Valley Girl. I kind of thought, well, I wonder if this is just to get 12-year-old kids.
Yeah, that's 100% the reason. That makes no sense at all, like why that scene's in there. No. I mean, why didn't they do that with Hector? You know, have him shirtless in the bathroom and get attacked. We could also talk about the feet in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of feet shots.
Yeah, like when she comes out the elevator, right?
Yeah. Did you read about that scene?
I know he's received praise for it, but they had to use another person to shoot it, so it wasn't her. Right?
It wasn't her, and they weren't even in an elevator. That was just like 2 things they pushed together to make it look like an elevator, and then the PAs pulled it apart, and she walked through.
Wow.
Yeah, they were desperate.
But that makes me happy. Like, the dude was just sweating on set making this happen.
Yeah, but there are a lot of feet in this movie, like Quentin Tarantino level feet.
Do you think Quentin Tarantino's a fan of this film?
100%. I bet we could search right now Tarantino, Night of the Comet, and he comes up saying he loves it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, I like it.
Night of the Comet, Quentin Tarantino, even though I misspelled his name horribly.
Well, we wouldn't have known that.
Right.
I'm excited here. What do you think?
Well, I can't tell. Like it looks like he's definitely mentioned it. I don't think he's mentioned it explicitly.
Oh, okay. Because this seems like a movie he would dig or show at his theater.
It does. It's definitely something he would dig, but I always like he gravitates around the 70s exploitation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one movie that I haven't seen, but I really want to, called The Candy Snatchers. That's supposed to be one of his top, 5 films. And you never know with him because he changes it. He says a lot of things for his top 5.
Sorcerer is always in there.
Yeah, Sorcerer's always in there. I haven't seen it. I know I should, but this does feel like something he would show.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, you see a lot of this. Okay, I'm not saying this movie, there were very good teenager films in the 80s. So you had Fast Times, Valley Girl. Can you think of characters like this in any other film, like around this time?
That they're like this fun and they have such a well-developed relationship?
Or they're just badasses. and they know about Uzis and MAC-10s and kicking people, and they're not. So you think about Halloween, right, in '78, and then you have, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis was great. Then you think about Friday the 13th, where the characters don't even have that much agency.
So, when I was watching this, the immediate thought I had was Reggie is a young Ripley.
Yeah, there it is.
Like that's my immediate one. And whenever I think about any of these movies from the 80s and 90s, I always go back to Ripley and how she is essentially a superhero.
Yeah, especially in Aliens, when she just gets going, and at the end
she literally puts on the uniform, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's just so cool. And then Samantha is kind of like I mean, they're equally well, no, she gets caught though, right? Doesn't Regina catch somebody, but Samantha gets caught? Because Samantha's younger and more impulsive, I would say.
Yeah, Samantha gets caught, and then they both get caught.
What did you think about Hit Gomez at the end?
It was a whole scene. It was really good. It was like a good joke, inside joke. Did you think they killed Samantha?
I did. And
I did too.
I was like, and you know what's funny? Even after the movie ended, for some reason I had this feeling that she was dead. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, she gets picked up by DMK at the very ending. But at the very end, or at the end. But yeah, I thought she got killed, but she just got knocked out so the lady could kill the other dude. Yeah. And then let
Which doesn't quite make sense, but whatever.
You know what I kind of like about her is that she knows she's dying. The scientist, like Audrey White, Mary Warrenoff's character, she knows she's dead. And I think she just knows that this bloodletting that they're doing is not going to last long. So she doesn't want to kill more people just to live 10 minutes longer. Is that kind of her arc, would you say? Yeah.
I think it's her arc, and I think the film does a very good job of disguising her arc. Because for a moment you think that she's evil and doesn't want to bring the kids there to save them. And it turns out that no, she doesn't want to bring them there because she's trying to save them.
Yeah, she doesn't want them there. And she keeps one at least. But I like how, and also what I love, man, is that Regina just goes to that place and then just starts beating up people. Like she gets out on her own. And then I love when Hector opens up the trunk and then that guy just gets beat up by Samantha. Like she beats the guy up in the trunk. It just, I'm telling you, man, this movie, sometimes I get a little burnt out, like watching all these things. And it's great. I mean, there's worse things in this world than watching movies. Like you're very fortunate to have that. But you can count the very happy surprises. I mean, what are some movies that, I don't know, maybe made you feel like I feel, just so you watch it and you're very happy with it, like a very surprise. Like it's so, man, I dig it.
The most recent movie I watched and was just like my jaw hit the floor and how much I loved it was Velocipaster.
Okay.
And that came out in 2019, and it's a purposeful B movie about a priest who becomes a velociraptor, turns into a velociraptor, made on a shoestring budget. Just ridiculous homages to B movies, purposely over the top, and it was perfect. I loved every minute of it. I told everyone I knew about it. Highly recommend the film. But that was one of the few moments when I was watching, I was like, I absolutely love this. And then there's also a moment I had when I watched Dunkirk, and I wasn't very excited to go see it. I was like, I'll go see this, whatever. And I was watching it, and then I was on the edge of my seat the entire time in a way that I hadn't been in any film that I can remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, that movie, I almost forgot to breathe sometimes watching Dunkirk.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are comparing it to 1917, but I don't think there's any comparison. I think Dunkirk is a significantly superior film.
I think it's just such an easy, like, people think it's an easy comparison, but they're two totally different flicks. I mean, they are, like, one of them's incredibly linear and the other one's not.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to what's happening.
Yeah. And so I want to see what you think about this. I have a note that I took down, and it's all in caps, but I just wrote, this movie's unapologetically scrappy.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's, if I had someone ask me what I think about this film, Night of the Comet, what do you think about Night of the Comet? If I said unapologetically scrappy, would that sound like an insult or a compliment?
I think it depends on who you're giving that to. Like, I take it as a compliment, because I think creativity is constrained by resources or lack of resources. Or maybe I'm not actually saying this right, but what I'm trying to say is, the more resources you have, typically the less creative you are. And so you came up with really interesting visuals, really interesting concepts because they had no money. And I think that's what makes this movie good.
Yeah, just, I don't know, man. I got to stop saying the same thing. I'm going over and over. How about this? So I can regroup. Do you want to do a quick, we always put together a team. Do you want to put together our characters from Night movies?
I do. I am so excited for this.
Yeah, I got some weird ones for you. I got some real weird ones for you. Do you want to go first?
No. You know what, Mark? I've gone first probably every time I've been on your podcast. I'm going to cede this to you. You may go first.
All right, sounds good to me. So I am going to go, let me pull up here. I got my note. Oh, also the director did Captain Ron.
I was waiting for you to bring that up. I know you love that movie. I also love that movie.
I mean, that movie also has a very specific tone that almost immediately you catch on to. So this guy, I think he's very good at, at least this one, Captain Ron, he's good at capturing a very specific tone really quickly.
His career has been strange. He has a lot of sort of exploitation horror movies and then a bunch of made-for-TV comedies and then Captain Ron.
I love me some Captain Ron. Oh, gosh. All right. I got a really weird one, but here's my first pick. So what we're doing is we're taking movies from any movie with night in the title, and we're allowing Demon Night. And basically we're pretty flexible on what night is, but we're just, It can't be like First Night with Richard Gere. You can't do that. But if it's Demon Night, because it's a night and you're a Demon Knight, yada yada, you can.
It's a good pun. Yeah. So it's not The Dark Knight. We're not counting that one.
No.
Okay.
Right? Are we?
Yeah, I don't want to count that one.
Nah.
That wins all the time.
Yeah.
No.
I leave that out of everything. All right. So for me, I'm gonna go with Malik from Shark Night.
Okay, tell me about Shark Night because I do not know what this is.
So in the beginning of the film, it's just these college kids who go to a lake, but there's a bunch of sharks on the lake, and then these guys on the lake film teenagers getting eaten by sharks, and then they sell it on the black market. But Malik, in the beginning, he gets his arm ripped off while skiing from a bull shark, I believe. Or I don't think it's the great white. I think it's the bull shark. And later on, Malik learns that his girlfriend is killed by a shark, and he kind of loses his mind. So he grabs a spear, and he goes into the water and has a battle with a hammerhead shark, and he kills it.
That's awesome.
A one-armed dude goes and just... I feel bad for the sharks, but these are like man-eaters. These are kind of movie man-eater sharks. So he goes in, kills a shark, one arm, just goes into the water, expecting to die, and kills it. And then later on, they're on a jet ski, which are, terrible jet ski action scenes, and he sacrifices himself for his friend. But his friend is a dummy, and instead of just going away and living, he chooses to go back, and then the shark catches him. But Malik, man, he kills a shark with one arm in the water. Obviously in the water, it wouldn't be on land.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
At night. So, I mean, that's a tough dude right there. So I gotta go with Malik from Shark Night.
Okay, so my number one draft, which I think will win me this draft, frankly, is Taryn White from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Ooh. She is the punk woman with who has the mohawk in the dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part of that movie right there. So awesome.
How does she die? What happens to her again?
So she confronts Freddy, and she knows Kung Fu, and she's beating him up. And then he whips out his hands, and they have turned into needles, and she overdoses.
That's what it is.
She stabs her and overdoses her. Yeah, it's so... I remember watching that scene and just going, no, because I loved all those characters so much, and they got done dirty in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, just to be honest with you.
That's such a tough thing to do, though. You are going to battle Freddy. That's so, I love that plot. Oh, man.
Yeah. And Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is my second favorite. It's like the first one and that one. And might actually be my favorite. I love that film.
And Rennie Harlan directs 4.
Oh yeah, the Dream Master.
Yeah,
that's a weird one. It's a weird.
And also, guys, if you want to listen, David and I did a episode about New Nightmare.
Oh yeah, we did New Nightmare.
They all blend in together, don't they?
Yeah, they kind of blended together.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get a new one in another 5 years.
Yeah, Taryn White's definitely being included. She's a badass.
Okay, what do you got?
My next one is Barbara from the Night of the Living Dead remake.
Oh, okay.
Because she's just, at the end, she goes, we can just walk around them. And then she just leaves the house and just walks around the zombies with a bandolier and some guns and lives.
That's awesome.
We can just walk around them. And she does. And it's awesome. And she just crushes. It's so smart. So she thinks. So I like her. I got to include Barbara.
Okay. I'm going to go a little zany one. And this is the mayor of Halloween Town from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
Because I love that character so much.
Yeah.
Because it's not, he's so high stressed.
I mean, it's a tough job.
He's so funny. I know that everyone loves Jack Skellington and all those other characters. No, I love the mayor.
I mean, that's a big job for him to do. I mean, that's a huge gig. And he's got the Oogie Boogie hanging around, those gross kids. That nasty scientist who's terrible to that lady. and she keeps knocking him out. I like him. Doesn't his head spin around?
Yeah, it does. That's one of the reasons he smiles or he frowns.
Yeah, that dude looks awesome. What a great design. He kind of creeps me out. Oh, man. All right. I got a weird one for you. Have you seen Game Night?
Yes.
Jesse Plemons, Gary, the cop.
Oh, God.
He is so weird.
The dog? Dog included?
Yes, dog included, covered in paint or whatever he gets doused with in that movie. But he's just so weird, Jesse Plemons. He is the weirdest character. But he takes a bullet, he comes back, he has some skills, he's creepy, he's loyal. So I'm going to go with Gary. And he can pull together a pretty fun little heist.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, Game Night. So I'm going to get Jesse Plemons from Game Night.
Okay. So I'm going to go with something that is, I think, really off the beaten path in terms of maybe movies you've covered. I want to go with Reverend Harry Powell from Night of the Hunter.
Oh, yeah,
This is played
of
by
course.
Robert Meacham. And I'm glad you've seen this movie. I don't think a lot of people have. It is fantastically scary. Robert Meacham is terrifying. And it feels like, was it Robert De Niro channeled him when he did his take on Cape Fear. Yeah. It's a really excellent role that I think it's an overlooked movie.
Oh, I mean, it's one, like, so they're planning on remaking it. And
That's rough.
The thing is, every movie gets remade, but I guess I'm kind of happy about it because it might bring eyes back to Night of the Hunter. Because that dude's awesome, man.
His tattoos, terrifying.
Like his hate tattoos on his hands.
Yeah. Speaking of remake, they are trying to remake Night of the Comet, by the way.
Yeah. Where did she direct from? Where was she from?
VHS.
Yeah, that's what it is.
She's writing the script. She's not necessarily directing.
I hope it's as fun.
Yeah, Roxanne Benjamin is her name.
Everything gets remade, so I give her the benefit of the doubt. I hope it's fun.
Okay.
I don't see it. She's got to find a way to surprise, though, because this movie was such a fun surprise. She should put love-hate tattoos on people. Oh, man. That dude is so scary. That predates Psycho by 5 years. I think he's one of the most vile 55. I wonder how that got past the Hays, like the code.
I mean, I don't think there's a ton of blood in it. I just think that there's a lot of implied violence.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably how they got around it, implied violence.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also large scenes of it. It's just kids on a raft, like watching the night.
Night. Oh, this is all right. All right, I'm gonna go with. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with Eden from 30 Days of Night.
Cool, that's a good one. That was on my list too.
And I really like. So there's a scene in the film 30 Days of Night, and Norbert just asked if we could cover it. He's like, Mark, please. So yeah. Wait, or was it you or Norbert? Norbert.
I've talked to you about it, but that's not one I've recommended.
Oh, got it. But I like when he has that swing set fight on the playground. I just think Josh Hartnett's like a 6'4" dude, big guy, and he just has a physicality to him 30 Days a Night that you really believe. And I liked his interactions with the townsfolk, and I like the fist fight at the end when he just punches through maybe a vampire's face, and then he dies. But still, like, if you need someone getting punched through the face, you bring Eben in to fight.
Yeah,
so
that's a good one. I think he's probably definitely going to make our list. I want to take Peter Vincent from Fright Night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Wait, which one?
So the original.
Okay. I love the remake, by the way.
I haven't seen the remake, so I can't comment.
Oh, wow. Dude, it's worth watching. It's fun. It's a fun
but I love just like how ridiculous the character is, and I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, I love that movie. I think it's a perfect flick. Fright Night. And I actually had Amy from the Fright Night remake in the list, played by Imogen Poots, because I think she's really good in horror films, but I'll take her out. And I won't use her for this one. But yeah, no, I love his character, though. He doesn't believe it at first, but he comes through at the end. He battles Ed. Oh, I like that. He's such a warm performance. Was it Roddy McDowell?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so my last one, I'm going to do Jerry Lynn from Demon Knight.
Okay.
Played by Jada Pinkett. I mean, she's just, I think she's a badass. I like Jada Pinkett. I think she has great. I like all of her scenes with Billy Zane. She lives. She becomes the new guardian of the key. I mean, she goes through a hell night and survives. So I'm gonna add because I don't know, Jada Pinkett, man, she's tough. So I'd love to have her on my survivor squad. So and I had to pick someone who survived because I had a few people who died. So I wanted to add her to that.
So this next one I think is gonna be hard, and I'm gonna give you the three that I have left.
Okay.
So I have Virgil Tibbs from In the Heat of the Night. I have Peter Warren from It Happened One Night, and the Rabbit from Night of the Lupus.
Okay, we gotta go with In the Heat of the Night. I mean, Tibbs. That's such a groundbreaking character because Sidney Poitier, that same year was in he was in 2 Best Picture movies that year. I guess he was coming in dinner in this. And what I like about his Tibbs character is how he's not the stereotypical, like, better than everybody else, man. He's pissed off in this town. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to help these people, but he's tasked at doing it. And I thought it was such a great performance by Sidney Poitier. I mean, you got to have, for me, I'm sorry, I don't want to make your pick. You can do it, but I love Tibbs in that movie.
No, I think that's the right pick. And I think the honorable mention goes to Peter Warren from It Happened One Night. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Mark. It's like the prototypical or the generator of screwball comedies. And Clark Gable is fantastic as just this down on his luck newspaper man who has literary ambitions. I absolutely love that movie. It's a great date night movie. But you're right. I think Virgil Tibbs is the better choice.
I mean, just because he's in enemy territory in that movie.
Yep.
Oh, no, I've watched this. This is when they, I watched this years ago. It Happened One Night.
Yep.
That's a good
It's a Best Picture winner. Yeah.
So, have you guys covered it yet?
We have.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so go to Award Wieners Movie Review Podcast and listen to that. And we got, you know what? I'll record a intro again to put on the front of this episode because we always forget to promote your great podcast. But yeah, so let's see. So we're going to do Tibbs from In the Heat of the Night?
Yes.
Oh, man. All right, so who should we keep?
I think Eben is a 100% keep.
All right, because we both had him.
Yes, we both had him, so let's keep him.
I mean, we got to have Taryn. She's a badass.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's 2. That's good. So what is the goal? Are they trying to survive a night?
Yes.
Okay. All right, give me some of the people you had again because I can't remember all of them.
I got Jesse Plemons from Game Night, Malik from Shark Night, Barbara from Night of the Living Dead, and Jerry Lynn from Demon Night.
So I would take either Barbara or Jerry Lynn.
Oh man, can we do Jerry Lynn? Because I feel like Demon Night needs more love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though Barbara does a gangster move at the end of it. And can we add Tibbs from In the Heat of the Night, or is that are you not?
No. I think Tibbs is great. I think Tibbs he's gonna rally the troop. He's gonna get everyone ready.
Yeah, I'm big on him. So let's see.
I mean, I think we can cut the mayor.
All right, and
he's too stressed.
We can get rid of Malik because he gets killed, and Gary would just be really creepy.
Yeah, so that means we're left with Peter Vincent, Reverend Harry Powell. My problem with Reverend Harry Powell is I think he would try to kill everyone.
Yeah. Oh, no, he would for sure.
Yeah, so maybe not the best choice.
Yeah, we don't want him. And then we're getting rid. So now we have Peter Vincent, who would begrudgingly come along, or Barbara from the Night of the Living Dead remake.
I mean, there's such different skill sets.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they both come through, though.
They do. But it feels like, so Barbara goes from being comatose to being a badass, and Vincent goes from being an unbeliever to confident.
Yeah. So we don't want a low, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I think we want Barbara.
Oh, because she becomes a badass.
Yeah, she goes from low to high, and Peter Vincent goes from low to medium.
Okay, I love it. That's funny. Got it. Oh man, so we actually we have a kind of normal squad here. But I love it. I think the squad. All right, so we have Barbara from Night of the Living Dead remake, Eben from 30 Days a Night, Jerry Lynn from Demon Night, Taryn White from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and Tibbs from In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah, I mean Taryn is the least capable, I think, because she has to fall asleep to be able to do stuff.
But yeah, they would find a way around it.
Yeah. They just open up a locker. Hey, look, it's all your punk outfit. It's your punk outfit. How'd it get here?
So can we say it's just her punk character in this?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Imagine that squad. I would love this. Well, dude, this was fun, man. Any final thoughts about Night of the Comet before we get out of here?
I really liked it. I'm eventually going to get around the Night of the Creeps, and I'll let you know how that is. But I'm happy we did this one. I was worried that you might not like it because it's so 80s.
This movie, I'm telling you, dude, this thing goes past time because of the characters and the low budget. I think it's very 80s, but there's nothing. I mean, the neon colors and some of the outfits and the hair. But other than that, these characters are so timeless. To me, at least. I think even today they're fresh. I think they're cool for even today.
They definitely are. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm big fans of them. So, I mean, dude, I'm so happy you suggested this. This is one of these movies that I love finding and talking about on the podcast and promoting, even though it was made over, 30 years ago. But still, it's great. So, no, man, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for David Cross, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week. Hey, let me do something real quick. Hey, Mark here. So, as always, we always seem to forget about this, but David Cross, You'll recognize him from the podcast. He has a wonderful show called the Award Wieners Movie Review Podcast. They just released an episode about Godfather 2. They have more on the way. Basically what they do is they talk about films that won Best Picture Academy Awards, and then they pair it with an Oscar Mayer hot dog recipe. What I love about this show is when you leave this show, you feel like you've learned something. You learn about the directors, the actors, how the film was made, what it was up against, what else came out that year. So when you listen to this podcast, you'll have a great time listening to them talk, but then you'll also learn something about the movies, and I love hearing that. So head over to wherever you can. This podcast is everywhere, and listen to the Award Wieners Movie Review Podcast.